Welcome back, Tarot fam. We are digging into the House of York and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the former Duke of York. In this video, we'll be right back. Welcome back, my Tarot Maniacs. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And this is video 2 of my series on the House of York. This video, we are going to be looking at Andrew. We're going to look at his astrology. We're going to look at some tarot. We are going to look at some Lenormand. And I hope that you guys are super into this. So let's start out with that astrology. I'll give you a little bit of an overview. So Andrew, born February 19th, 1960. 3:30 p.m. and that in London, and that birth time was highly rated in the systems that I use. So he is a Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, Leo rising, a dangerous combination if you ask me. That sun in Pisces gives him exceptionalism, blurred boundaries, rescue and victim narratives. It also has a possibility of spiritual surrender. So Pisces, with his kind of construction in the natal chart, they can sometimes fall into, oh, forgive me, I found God, to have a spiritual revival. So we may see some of that out of him. I think not, because I think that the Leo rising kind of affects that and takes that, softens that approach. The Scorpio moon gives him a lot of secrecy, a lot of emotional control, and survival instincts. He will cut the legs out from somebody else. He also, with the Scorpio moon, has a lot of difficulty releasing old alliances. And we saw that with his association with Jeffrey Epstein. He did officially declare that he had walked away from that relationship and then did not. The Leo rising, royal presentation. So this is going to highlight and exacerbate the exceptionalism that we get with that sun in Pisces. So a lot of pride, a lot of status consciousness, and a very, very strong need to be seen as significant or notable. So a sensitive Pisces identity behind that Leo presentation, with a Scorpio emotional life that protects secrets and resists exposure, is super unique. I think his sensitivity really does lean more so into the poor little me than it does sensitivity for others. So that's something that we should make sure that we're clear. So in the next decade, we're going to look at it in 4 different parts. So from 2026 to 2028, consequences become much more concrete in Andrew's world. Saturn and Neptune in Aries are forcing the difference between story and fact, denial and action. We saw that, like the whole thing with the sweating, like, dude, come on. Like that was the craziest story I've ever heard. If you're unaware of it, Andrew claimed in a very bad interview that he had the inability to sweat. There's a million pictures of him out there sweating on the dance floor. Also, legal and institutional questions are really going to dominate this period of time from for the next 2 years for him. Public identity will not be able to be restored by image and management alone. There has to be some kind of substance on there. Spiritual lesson is radical simplicity. And we did see this. Hopefully he's learning his lesson by being downgraded from Royal Lodge to wherever he is right now. From 2029 to 2031, his identity will be dismantled. So Pluto in Aquarius moves toward opposition with his Leo ascendant. So this it shows a profound loss of control transit. This means that others, other people, other institutions, other members of the royal family will be able to publicly redefine him. The constructive expression is an ego death in this case. He really does need to kind of go into a cocoon. Unfortunately, I think that the confirmations of opinions about him are going to be solidified over this 2029 to 2031 period. Destructive expression, like being obsessed with vindication, trying to tap into the secret power that he had in the royal family. I just don't think that that is really going to help him at all. We have from 2030 to 2033, sudden disclosures and emotional rupture. So Uranus will move through Gemini, and it's going to challenge the Pisces placement in his chart, and it eventually opposes that Scorpio moon. So this period, we can expect documents, testimony, abrupt news, family shocks, changes to living circumstances or alliances. This doesn't predict like a conviction or anything like that. I don't want you to think that. It actually is describing there's volatility and information that's going to change some of the relationships. I think he needs to tread very, very lightly here. And again, not being obsessed with vindication into this period as well as the last period, I think is really important. And again, the last period, we were 2029 to 2031. So 2029 to 2033, I think he really needs to lay down the counter PR that he would like to put into play. So 2034 to 2036, we get the final shaping of his legacy. And I'm using the gerund term, shaping, because I do think that there's still some things that he can do there. By this point, his restoration to royal life looks like it's much less important to him, and it's much more important for him to build a stable private life where he can expect what is coming, what is happening. My question, did he only protect himself, or did he make any effort to protect the house or even his family? So let's take a look at some of that. And we're going to use tarot and Lenormand. So where's Andrew standing right now? And I just want to make sure I have my card view up. Card view up. There we go. Where is Andrew standing right now? 8 of Wands. He wants to communicate. What should he do with that? Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep quiet, Andrew. Don't do it. What truth must he stop resisting? The Magician in reverse. That he is not the super cool guy that he thought that he was. Unfortunately, not the super cool guy. And he's also not bulletproof. A tough lesson for a prince, former prince of the realm. What responsibility is his alone to carry regarding the House of York? The King of Swords, the stupid things that he has done, the stupid strategies that he has gotten into. Potentially, he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein doing financial deals and those kinds of things, along with having a good time, in air quotes. But the strategizing that he's done for the family, it's always been like this get rich quick, schemy kind of thing. That kind of sliminess that he put onto the House of York is his to carry. What must he do to protect Beatrice and Eugenie from further fallout? Stop looking at all of the options, because all of the options are leading in a dead end. He needs to let them advocate for themselves. Let's do Beatrice and Eugenie. Beatrice, he really needs to just stay out of her business. Like, I know that sounds terrible. I know he's her dad. And Eugenie, they need to stop scheming about where money is going to come from. They have to. What action gives him the greatest possibility for personal redemption? Four of Wands. Let it all go. Let it all go. Keep your grace and favor home and just be cool. Where does that road lead in 10 years if he does that? Nine of Pentacles. He's exposed. He's out there. But unfortunately, I think he's done this to himself. And I think most of you agree with me on that. So let's do this. Switching it up to a little Lenormand. Is continued silence from Andrew still working to protect him, or is it working against him? Continued silence is working for him. This is the Rider. And it's continuing to work for him. How so? It's a closed book. No more information is getting out there. I said in my weekly astrology report that there were some signs that needed to just close their mouth because too much, they were going to over talk. They were going to over explain. So that's one of the things. He's got to just not over explain it anymore. What should he disclose within lawful advice right now? What should he disclose that would be to his benefit? The clouds. When we look at the clouds, it is coming out of a dark period and going into a light period. So I do think if he, I don't even know what charities he could get involved in, guys. I just don't. No one with children or young women are going to want him involved. So, and we got clouds and clover for that. I do think that he has to try to affect some good things, but without showing his face, without being specifically involved. Is he capable of accepting a life without royal status? Is he capable of it? The Garden. That's public stuff. He wants that public adulation. He really does. The Cross, the Child. I'm the favorite. I still want Edward to be the favorite. And the Key. He thinks that if he's just like a cute dude's dude, that's going to do it. If him and Harry get together on the phone, it's going to be disastrous because they're both going to say, oh, it's such a burden to be prince. Oh, it's such a burden. He wants the world to feel bad for him because he's had so much privilege. I love it. Feel bad for me because I had so much privilege. What does his genuine atonement look like? What does it look like? I don't think that we ever get a genuine atonement out of him. We don't. Because there's always going to be another piece of information that comes out. We're going to switch it back to tarot because this is a big question. Has Andrew placed a blight on the title? Or did he just reveal a deeper flaw in it? So we've got the Four of Wands, the Two of Swords in reverse, the Chariot, Knight of Wands, and the Four of Cups. I think that Andrew has absolutely contributed to the blight on the title. I think he has put quite a dent in it. When I look at the House of York psychically, I see it on the ground, beaten, bruised, and gasping for breath. So, what a mess. What a mess. If we let the House of York lay fallow, can it make a comeback? Yes, it will heal. And that's very interesting. 3 of Pentacles. That is interesting. I do feel that I think Louis may get this title. I think Louis may. Does Louis get it? King of Cups. No, not yet. Let me try and make another decision about that. Is it Charlotte? Oh. Maybe they give it to Charlotte. Maybe they change it so that Charlotte can have it. Maybe they change that. I don't know. We'll see. Still under construction when we have those nights, though. So we'll leave that there. We'll leave this there for now. We'll leave it there for now. Let me take down those cards. And boys and girls, Andrew's road does not lead back to the balcony. It doesn't. We're not going to see that. Not even as an old man. His road is leading toward truth and responsibility and a life in which hopefully his daughters will not have to pay the bill for his decisions. In the next video, we are going to be looking at Sarah Ferguson. Her story is not the same as Andrew. We all know that. She's remained very much tied to him, but is the removal of the titles and the changes that have happened to Andrew, is she ever going to be able to leave that House of York behind? I'm curious about it, and I know that you are too. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.